Hey, sports fans, it's Mo Carter. Every high school football team in the Tennessee Valley has a goal of hoisting up a blue map at this year's Super 7 in Birmingham. And in order to get there, you have to do work in the off-season. This summer, the Fox 54 sports team chatted with a number of squads about their upcoming season. And you can check out some of your favorite teams right now on another edition of the First Down Friday Night Preview Series.
What did you learn from the 2024 season as you rolled into the offseason and get ready for this year?
It was a lot of trial and error. First year as a head coach, being back home made it easier for me. I felt like the community, wanted me there. I felt like the players want me there. I want to be there. My wife and son wants to be here. So that was a plus. Wins and loss record, wasn't what we wanted it to be, but you can go on day after day after day of excuses that we had. We were plagued by the bug injury, had several broke ankles, broke kneecap, broke forearms to key guys. And as a small school, 2A school, if you lose one player, then you're actually losing 3 or 4 players in that one person, because like Malachi here, he broke his foot last year. Well, we lost an offensive lineman, we lost a defensive lineman, we lost a lineman on extra point field goal. So we lost 3 players with that one person being out. And like I said, it affected us. We had to play a bunch of younger guys and get them ready for a time that they weren't necessarily supposed to be in there, but they got a year under their belt, and we've got everybody coming back this year. We lost 1 senior from last year. This year we're going into the season with 6 seniors, so we're a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, but we're still relatively young. Quarterback's going to be a 10th grader, running back's going to be a 10th grader. We got a couple, freshmen that's sprinkled in and out here and there. But our older guys are doing it the right way. They're leading. They're there every day. They're working out hard. They're conditioning, practicing 100%. We got Matt Fletcher back. He'll be one of our top receivers and safeties. We added a couple of new guys in from the halls of Tanner. They've been there this whole time, but they finally decided to come out. And we got a couple of guys that are gearing up to have a huge impact for us, that are, surprises for us, that are definitely going to be key players this season.
Okay, cool. Of course, I was able to come out to your spring game. There were some highs, there were some lows. What did you feel like you learned? What did you learn the most about your team, seeing them compete against, a higher classification team, even though, it wasn't, the result didn't probably just go your way?
Yeah, it was, it was big for us to get that spring game in. And, we did varsity first half, we did JV the second half. Varsity, they did a lot better. We could tell that we were stronger, we were faster, we're getting bigger. We could tell that, the play calling and everything, they're relating to it, they're seeing it, they're picking it up more. Last year putting in a new offense and a new defense, it was new for everybody on the team. They had never played it, had never ran those plays. So, spring game felt a little bit more polished. We're calling things, and the kids were picking up on it, and they knew where to go, when to go, how to go, and that's big for us, being accountable and knowing what's going on within the play itself and knowing what you're supposed to do. And, we've been saying it all year, do your job. So you do your job and don't worry about everybody else's job, then that makes everything go smooth.
Awesome. Take a look at this wonderful region you've got, with the likes of Decatur Heritage and Lexington, Red Bay. Clearly, you're going to have to, bring your lunch bucket to work each and every week. But how do you feel about how your team can compete in such a tough region?
I feel like we'll go into region play a lot more confident this year. We're bigger, we're stronger. The weight room's done a tremendous job for us, and we're our football IQ as a team has gone up tremendously, and a lot of that's due to these seniors that we've got. The 2 that I got here, they call practice when we don't have practice. They're at the field, they're throwing, they're getting their teammates up there, they're getting more involved, they're going over stuff. They're not just going out there to, play and, mess around. They're going out there to actually go over stuff that we've done in practice to get better at it, and they're picking up on different body languages and styles of their teammates. So that chemistry that they're building outside of not only just practice, but outside of practice is going to be big for us going into region play. Decatur Heritage is going to be, they were extremely good last year. Winston County's good. They made it to the third round last year. Lexington's going to be really good. I know we've had a couple of coaches changes in our region play. I think they got a new coach at Lexington, a new coach at Red Bay, new coach at Decatur Heritage. But those programs are, they're traditionally tough, hard-nosed programs. So we've got to come ready to work every Friday.
All right, AJ. Wasn't the best season in 2024, but Coach said y'all have kind of put that away and getting ready for 2025 with a somewhat large senior class. How do you feel about going into 2025 with the Rattlers?
I feel more confident, ready to play this region, and I feel that we can make a push in playoffs this year.
Clearly, Tanner's a school that always has to have a lot of young guys step up. I know you're a senior now, but how do you feel about some of your younger teammates and what they'll be able to bring to the table this year?
I'm very impressed with some of these younger guys, especially King. King stepped in with like a month ago, and he's probably going to be our starting safety or corner. He learned the defense and everything, and he's just ready to go.
Coach talked about, clearly it was tough last year because y'all had the injuries, but also you introduced a new offense, a new defense. Now that you're familiar with that, how much is that going to help the team, because you guys kind of know everything now?
We have a personal connection with the coaches now, especially we have a new speed coach, speed and agility coach, and we've been in the weight room all year, and we got a personal connection now with the offensive and defensive coordinator, and we're just ready to go.
Okay. And look, I'll leave you out on this. Coach kind of talked about the region stuff. I know a big thing last year that everybody was happy in this room that you kind of started having all the Limestone County rivalries kind of return. So you'll face Ardmore in week 1. I mean, talk about how big of a situation that's going to be, especially for you guys to play them, and a lot of y'all know each other for a minute.
Ardmore and Clements are they're in our schedule this year. They're both from our county. So, and Ardmore's got a pretty good program. They're building a new program, and it's going to be a tough game.
All right, man. I know 2024 was tough, but how do you feel that kind of made your team better, stronger, and psychologically, prepared for this upcoming year now?
We were a young team last year. We had a whole lot of injury problems and stuff like that. Not everybody knew what they were doing, but now that we have a whole lot of returning players, everybody know what they're doing now. Everybody been working hard, and I'm just excited to see what we're going to do.
Coach talked about, you'll have a somewhat larger senior class led by, guys like you and AJ. Talk about what the leadership roles that you're going to possess this year to kind of help your team win.
Making sure everybody show up, do what they're supposed to do, make sure everybody held accountable when they mess up, and that's it.
Coach said that, besides the mandatory practices that he calls, the players are getting together and doing some things. Talk about how important it is to take initiatives amongst yourselves as players.
It's important because, you get the work in at school and during practice, but you could always get more work in, when nobody out there. So it's just important to just get better.
Last year, I know, wasn't a great year, so everybody wants to improve off of that. Coach was saying that, you guys really, really want to, do better than last year. So, what's it going to take to improve from last year and even, compete for playoffs and stuff?
Just doing our assignments, doing the job. That's it. Just doing what we got to do to win.
A brand new season of Fox 54's First Down Friday Night begins on Friday, August the 22nd on Fox 54 and the Fox 54 Plus app.